There are moments in the story that come and go and leave fans buzzing for a day or two before the next thing arrives to take their attention. And then there are moments like this one. Moments that land so differently from everything that came before them that the community goes collectively quiet for a second before the wave of emotion hits all at once. What Dylan Wang just did for Shen Yue belongs firmly in that second category. This was not a headline moment. This was not something designed for cameras or crafted for consumption. This was something private that became public almost by accident. And because of that, because of the complete absence of performance in it, it has reached into the chest of every single person who has witnessed it and refused to let go. Before we get into exactly what happened, understand that the reason this gesture is hitting the way it is has everything to do with who Dylan Wang is as a person when the spotlight is not directly on him. Because there are two versions of Dylan Wang that exist in the public consciousness. There is the version that the industry sees, composed and disciplined and almost impossible to read. A man who has mastered the art of being present in a room without giving anything unnecessary away. And then there is the version that slips through in unguarded moments, the version that people who pay close attention have been catching glimpses of for years. Tender, quietly devoted, someone who expresses the deepest things he feels not through words but through small and deliberate and incredibly intentional acts. What just happened was that second version of Dylan Wang in its purest form. If you are new here and you want to be present for every moment the story gives us, hit subscribe right now because this community shows up for every single chapter and you deserve to be part of that. What he did was this. In a setting that was not designed to be witnessed, in a moment that belonged entirely to the two of them, Dylan Wang made sure that Shen Yue was taken care of in a way that required him to notice her before she had even noticed herself. Those who were present described it as the kind of attentiveness that cannot be faked and cannot be performed because it requires a level of awareness of another person that only comes from genuinely watching them. From paying the kind of attention to someone that most people reserve only for the things and the people that matter to them most deeply. He saw what she needed before she asked. He moved toward it quietly, without announcement, without waiting to be acknowledged for it. He simply did it because she needed it and he noticed, and that was enough reason for him. That description alone sent the fan base into an emotional spiral that is still very much ongoing. Because here is the thing about that kind of gesture. It is easy to make grand romantic declarations. It is easy to show up for someone when the moment is big and the audience is watching and the action feels significant even to the person performing it. What is genuinely rare, what separates the people who love loudly from the people who love deeply, is the quiet noticing. The seeing someone in an ordinary moment and responding to what you see without needing credit for it. That is the thing Dylan Wang just demonstrated. And for a community that has spent years watching these two and learning to read the language they speak with each other, the significance of what just happened was understood immediately and completely. Shen Yue's reaction was everything. She did not make it a big moment. She did not draw attention to what he had done or reflect it back to him in a way that would have made it about the gesture rather than the feeling behind it. She simply received it, and in receiving it with that quiet grace that is so distinctly her, she said more about what it meant to her than any words could have communicated. The people who witnessed this exchange said the air in the room changed. That is the kind of thing that sounds like an exaggeration until you have been in the presence of two people who share something real and watch them move through an ordinary moment together. Then you understand exactly what that means. The fan response has been pouring in from every corner of this community and beyond. People who have been following Daishin for years are saying this feels different from other moments they have collected and held on to over time. There is something about the simplicity of it that is undoing people completely. No drama, no tension, no longing across a distance. Just Dylan Wang seeing Shen Yue clearly and responding to what he saw with care. Just two people in a moment so natural and unforced that it looked like breathing. Like something they have done 1,000 times in private that the world happened to catch a glimpse of just this once. Longtime fans are saying this is the moment that reframed everything they thought they understood about where these two actually are with each other right now. Because you can follow a story for years and think you have a sense of its shape, and then something like this happens, and you realize the story is both simpler and more profound than any of the narratives you had been constructing around it. It is not complicated. It is just two people, one of them paying attention, one of them being seen, and in between those two things, something so genuine and so rare that it moved an entire community to tears. Dylan Wang did not do what he did for an audience, but an audience witnessed it, and what they saw was a man who loves quietly, attentively, and without condition. That is the whole story, and it is more than enough. We will be here when the next moment finds us. Stay close.